ugly duckling. Once upon a time, there was a mother duck who lived in a small, cozy barn near a big pond. One day, she laid several eggs, and she waited for them to hatch. The warm sun shone through the barn window, and the mother duck sat patiently on her eggs, keeping them safe. After many days, the first egg cracked open, and out came a tiny, fluffy duckling. It was so cute. The mother duck smiled and nuzzled her baby. Then, one by one, the other eggs hatched, and more little ducklings came out, each one smaller and fluffier than the next. But when the last egg cracked, something surprising happened. Instead of a small, fluffy duckling like the others, a very big and awkward baby bird came out. This bird had gray, rough feathers, and it didn't look like the other ducklings at all. The mother duck was surprised and looked at her baby in worry. "Oh dear, you are much bigger than the others," she said softly. The other ducklings looked at the new baby and started to laugh. "Look at that one. It's so big and ugly," said one little duckling. "It doesn't look like us at all," said another. The poor little bird felt very sad. It didn't know why it looked different, but it wished it could be like the others. The mother duck tried to be kind. "Don't worry, my dear. You may not look the same, but you are still my baby. I love you just the same." But the little duckling was still very sad. The other ducklings didn't want to play with him, and the other animals at the farm also made fun of him. The little duckling was so sad that he decided to leave the farm. He didn't want to stay where everyone was mean to him. So, he waddled away, his big, awkward body moving slowly and sadly. He walked through the fields and the woods, feeling lonely and lost. All the animals he met on his journey laughed at him. "Look at that ugly bird. It doesn't belong here," they would say. The little duckling felt more and more miserable with every step he took. As he walked, he came to a big pond. There, he saw other birds swimming happily. He hoped that maybe they would be kind to him. But when they saw him, they flapped their wings and flew away, calling him ugly. The little duckling felt even worse. "Maybe I am ugly," he thought sadly. "Maybe I'll never find a place where I belong." Winter came, and the poor duckling was cold and hungry. He didn't have a warm place to sleep, and the pond froze over. He had to find shelter under a big tree, where he could stay safe from the cold. Days went by, and the little duckling grew tired and lonely. Then, one day, when the cold winter finally ended, the snow melted, and the sun began to shine again. The little duckling looked around. The world was different now. The trees had green leaves, and the flowers were starting to bloom. He felt a little stronger, and his feathers were starting to feel warmer in the sunshine. The little bird walked down to the pond again. He looked at his reflection in the water and gasped. He couldn't believe what he saw. The awkward, gray feathers were gone, and in their place were beautiful, white feathers. The little bird was no longer a dull and awkward duckling. He had turned into a beautiful swan. As the swan looked around, he noticed other swans swimming in the pond. They were all graceful and elegant, with long, beautiful necks. The little swan swam toward them, feeling nervous but hopeful. The other swans saw him and swam over to greet him. "Welcome, young swan," one of them said kindly. "We've been waiting for you." The swan was amazed. "You're not calling me ugly? You're not going to laugh at me?" The swans smiled. "No, you are beautiful. You are one of us now. You've grown into a strong, graceful swan, just like we are." The little swan was so happy that he could hardly believe it. All of his sadness and loneliness melted away. He finally found a place where he belonged, among other swans who treated him with kindness and respect. From that day on, the once ugly duckling swam happily in the pond, enjoying the warm sunshine and the company of his new friends. He knew that, even though he had been different before, he was special in his own way. He had grown into something beautiful, and he had found a place where he truly belonged.